Hey, it's Anna. Welcome back to my art channel and thank you for being here. So I'm super excited about the painting that I'm going to show you today. This is one that I've had in my head for a while and I can't wait to see it come to life. So you all probably know that I just love the ocean, all the ocean creatures. Anyway, today I'm going to be painting an octopus. So I'm going to do it in 2 layers. So I'm going to start by painting a background and let that dry. And then I'm going to add the octopus shape on top. Are you ready? Let's make a painting. All right, so the colors that I'm using, this dark navy is a mix of Blickrylic Phthalo blue and apple barrel black. You can't really see the consistency there, but you can for this one. This is Phthalo green, also by Blickrylic. So you can see it is sort of a medium thin to thin consistency. It flows very easily off of the stick. Then I've got this metallic teal from Blick Studio Acrylics. All of my paint is mixed with floetrol and then with water. It's about 1 part paint to 2 or 3 parts floetrol. Okay, this last one, this is actually a mica powder. This is a chameleon powder, a color shifting powder from Resin. The color is called blue, and so it shifts from blue to purple. And for this one, I actually just mixed it with floetrol and added water to get it to the same consistency. All right, let's layer the cup. So I have a 12 by 12 inch canvas with deep sides, and I've gone ahead and painted the sides with my dark navy color ahead of time, just to make sure that the edges get covered and it's fully opaque. As I'm layering the cup, I'm not being super careful to make layers. I just want all of the colors in there in the entire cup. I want all the colors to kind of blend together and each to be present in different ways. All right, now for the fun part, let's pour it out. So this is just a straight pour that I'm doing. So it's very easy. You can adjust whether you're pouring from up high or down low, whether you move around a little bit, whether you make circles. For this, I didn't really have a set pattern that I was trying to make. I just wanted to let the paint flow out and create something beautiful and sort of organic. And it didn't really matter that the middle was super clean because that's going to get covered later by the octopus. So this is looking really pretty. As the paint kind of spreads out, I'm seeing cells open up, and that's very cool. And so now it's time for me to torch it, just to see if I can draw up any more cells, any more bubbles. All right, now I'm going to tilt it. So again, I'm not trying for a specific pattern here. I just want to get the paint moving and then get the canvas covered. So it is very thin paint and it moves quite fast. All right, on to the next corner. There we go. All right, let's cover these last couple corners. All the way to the corner and back. And then across the last one. There we go. Okay, so now I'm just kind of tilting it back and getting the design centered in a way that looks good to me. That is looking really cool. Oh, I love that. All right, while my hands are painty, I'm gonna just cover those corners with paint, and you can always touch them up with a brush afterwards, especially if you don't get totally full coverage. But yeah, one final torch, see if I can pop any more bubbles, bring up any more details, but then otherwise, this is done. This is really cool. All right, so the close-up here, my camera is having trouble focusing on the painting. It's wanting to show me the reflection of the ceiling, so this is not a very good close-up. But you can see kind of the wispy flowing designs. You can see that there's green in there and blue. The color that's shining right there is the metallic teal shining in the light, and we can see a little hint of purple in there somewhere. So yeah, the center's a little bit like a blob, but that'll get covered. So I'm very happy with this, and let's go to the next step. Okay, we are back. Here's the painting. So clearly it dried very dark, but there's a lot of shimmer. The metallic teal is the most noticeable, and I think when it is varnished, that's really going to pop. So we got this swirl going on up here, and I think that's the most interesting part. So here is my Octopus stencil. I had a friend who owns a Cricut, and we found a vector file online, and she was kind enough to cut it out for me on some vinyl. So I'm going to be putting that right here, sort of in the lower third of the canvas. Okay, so first I need to peel the back side off. There we go. Whew. Okay. So let's peel this, and they put sort of a transfer sheet on the front, so I can peel this off and all of those tentacles remain in place, which is very important. Okay, so I'm going to put this slightly at an angle. But I want it more or less centered. Yeah. Okay, then I'm going to press it down nice and well all the way across, but especially there on the edges. That appears to be all adhered. Pretty close anyway. And now I'm going to pull up this transfer sheet so that all I should be left with is the vinyl stencil on my background. I'm trying to be really careful that I don't pull up, you know, the small bits of tentacle. This vinyl is not terribly sticky, actually. It's not sticking super well to the canvas. So that'll be good in terms of getting it off the canvas, but not so good in terms of keeping it on while I'm painting. So hopefully it goes okay. Man, that was super sticky. Goodbye. Don't need you anymore. Okay, let's see if I can get this back on. Nice and smooth and evenly contacting the painted surface. Okay, so you can see there's my stencil on top of my background. So let me grab my hairdryer so that I can warm up the sticky vinyl and get it really well adhered to the surface. So I'm just sort of running my fingernail or thumbnail along the edge to smooth it out while also applying some heat. And I know at least with blue tape, this works to kind of activate the glue and make it extra sticky, the glue in the vinyl or in the tape. Okay, got that. I am going to add some blue tape around the edges of this just to make sure that where it's close to the edge of the frame that no paint gets on the background. But first, let me just walk you through my colors and my technique, basically. So I'm using silicone in this because I want to create that bubbled look that an octopus skin has, especially I'm thinking tentacles, but even the body, I want it to have those cells. So I have, this is unbleached titanium from Blick Studio Acrylics. All my paint is mixed with floetrol. So certain ones are mixed 3-to-1 floetrol to paint, some are mixed 2-to-1. So that's unbleached titanium, and as you can see, it's mixed medium. It's not super runny, but it's not super thick. Then this is, I think this is Antique Copper by FolkArt. So it's this lovely kind of bronze color. Then I have Metallic Antique Gold from FolkArt. And I have basically 1 drop of silicone oil in each of my paint colors. This is Alizarin Crimson from Blick Studio Acrylics, and it looks quite pink here, but it's going to dry to this nice maroon red. And then finally I have some glow-in-the-dark paint from FolkArt. So this will dry transparent, but should add a really cool glow-in-the-dark element to the octopus. And I'm going to be swiping with palette knives, little plastic pieces, kind of like my micro swipes. So that's what I'll be swiping with. Blue tape. I'm trying to add plenty of blue tape where I think I might accidentally fling paint with my swipe tool. I'm not planning on being super messy, but you never know what's going to happen. There we go. Great! I'm so excited about this. Oh, okay. So, oh, my other color, I have some white here mixed up. It's just in a big jug. This is kind of my, I mix up big batches of kind of base coat, flood coat. That's Sargent and apple barrel mixed. So I do want some white in the tentacles, but not much. So I'm trying to think about how I'm going to add that, actually. I'm putting, whoa, see, this is why I wanted my area well covered, because I drip. Fortunately, it dripped on the vinyl area. Okay, that's got most of the tentacles, having some white anyway. So I was thinking about layering these, but I think it might make more sense to do a dirty pour. And kind of pour here along the body, and then along, and then swipe the dirty pour to fill the shape. So let me grab a little cup. I don't think I need very much paint at all. This is a 3-ounce cup. I don't think I'm even going to fill it to 2 ounces. But I do want a little bit of each color left over on the side so that as I'm doing my swipes, if I need to add a bit of any color, I can. Okay, so then my friend gave me the, the inside, and I'm going to put this here just so that I can remember where the tentacles go, so that I can hopefully swipe them in a logical way, and it's not just a mess of bubbles, but there's actually pattern. That's the goal. Yeah, but I'm just going to start kind of straight pouring it here and end up here and then lay over some of the tentacles. Okay, so first of all, first impressions, this color blend is amazing. Honestly, I could almost leave it like this, but I want to swipe because that's what's going to bring up those magical cells. Wow. I'm going to add some more blue tape because I think I might be swiping this direction, and I don't want to swipe all over my background. Okay, so next question is, am I going to swipe the tentacles first or the body first? I think I'm going to swipe the body first. So I have this pretty big piece of plastic here. And I'm just going to lay it here and swipe it back. And yeah. Okay, here we go. Just gently touching up and around. Well, we got plenty of bubbles. That is more of the light colors than I was expecting. It'll be okay. I'll figure something out. This texture looks perfect for the tentacles. I just didn't know that I wanted that exactly for the body. Oh well. Next one is going to be this tentacle that runs this way. So I'm going to grab from here. I think this has to be a palette knife because it's too much curving. We've definitely got cells there. I'm not seeing a whole lot of the white coming up, but that'll be okay. Let's do this one next, because that comes from a similar area. It's so weird because as I put the paint on, I can't see the holes, so I'm just kind of like hoping that the swipes that I'm making are covering the spots that they need to cover. Okay, so that's the entire thing covered, except there's this one tiny little corner right up there. So let me just grab a bit of this, just lay it in right above there. Okay, next thing to check is, are there any awkward looking spots? And I don't think so. I think, especially here in the tentacles, we've got nice overlap, we've got nice motion. I think that's going to look excellent when I pull everything up. The body is looking kind of bland. I would like more of the red and this copper color in there. So what I'm going to do is just get a little bit of paper towel and dip it in both of those colors. And then I'm just going to drag it through to kind of create some extra striping. Okay. That added some. Let's do it again. Maybe not both colors at once though. Maybe I should take turns. Okay, I think I have created enough texture there in the back of the head that it's not going to look weird compared to the other ones. I am not going to torch this because honestly I'm nervous that the torch might cause the vinyl to release from the surface slightly. And because I'm using floetrol mixed paints and silicone, I don't need to torch in order to create cells. I've got plenty of cells as it is. So let me give you a close-up of this. So it looks like a bit of a mess right now, but let's look at some of those cells. And as you can see, because I swiped them more or less mirroring the tentacles, those streams of bubbles should have lots of excellent swooping action. So you can see here where I added the striping there in the body. The nice thing about silicone is it's very forgiving when you want to swipe through it. And then the transition here to these tentacles is very nice. So yeah, hard to totally envision what it's going to look like, but I have very high hopes, and I must say this is the cleanest my table has ever been right at the end of a pour, since I was just working on one tiny area. So I will show you this when I pull up the vinyl. See you then! Okay, it's been about a day and a half and the paint is completely dry. I toyed with the idea of pulling up the stencil while the edges were dry and the middle was wet. And certain sides did dry faster, but there was this part in the center that I didn't want to mess up, so I let it all dry. And now it's time to pull it up. Now I've got a couple things handy just in case it doesn't go well. I've got a pair of scissors and I have a razor blade just in case it doesn't want to come up easily, or if I need to cut this vinyl stencil in order to peel it up bit by bit. So I don't know if I'll need those, but I have them handy. Oh my gosh, look at that. That looks amazing. I'm going to cut this so that I can remove it in smaller pieces and can watch more carefully what's happening. Ah, look at that. That was nerve-wracking. Look at that tentacle, though. That looks great. So this is definitely slow going, making sure that you get all those delicate bits, all the little tentacles. It does seem like you have to pull at the right angle If you pull at the right angle, the paint layer will separate easily. If you pull at the wrong angle, it will not separate easily. So you kind of have to pull like parallel. So if you're wanting to leave it here, you have to pull it up this direction. Don't pull this direction or this direction. Okay, let's see if I can get up this tiny little piece here. Okay, that was a little tricky, but got it up. Look, I got it up! Oh, that looks amazing. I love how all those bubbles and stuff, they look like tentacles, but also the octopus body, it looks very realistic. So you can see up there by the eye, it got a little bit torn, and there's a couple other surfaces where just pulling up the stencil tore the paint edge or messed it up slightly. So I will come in with a brush and just tweak a couple of those areas so that they don't look distracting. But other than that, and I need to add eyes, of course. I may brush paint a few more details on the body. I haven't decided yet, but I'm at least adding eyes up here. So when it's all finished, I will give you a close-up. There's some places where tentacles overlap, and I would like to create kind of some shading to make it look more three-dimensional. So I've mixed up kind of this dark reddish brown color, which is pretty thin, and I'm going to be just carefully brushing that in on the edges of some of the tentacles to try to give the effect of shading. Okay, so I've added in just a little bit more shape of the body here. So I'd thought about adding the siphon, vent, whatever that part is called there. I don't think I will, at least not yet. I'm going to add the eye first, and then if I feel like something's lacking here, then I may add detail. I do want it to stay abstract looking, but also realistic, and I feel like with the shapes and shadows that I've added, nobody's going to miss one little element there. So, once this paint dries, I will add the eye spot. Okay, the last step for this guy is painting the pupil in his eyeball. So octopuses have kind of a rectangular pupil because it like squeezes so that it can open up in low light, but it squeezes down when it's bright. So let me see if I can make this shape. There it is. Octopus eyeball. Here it is all done. I love how perfect that eye looks. So here we have the body with all of the shading and everything all dry and finished. Really makes it look three-dimensional. And in the background here, you can see the metallics shining. Those blue spots, they're the ones that kind of shift purple. You see how it's purple there? That's the mica powder spots. So I do think that it'll be a lot of just kind of the metallics showing up on the darker background. That's what it's going to look like. But when the varnish is on, those colors are going to pop more. So let me show you that really quick and show you how cool that looks. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope it inspired you to try something new. I know I definitely will be doing more paintings like this with the stencils because I absolutely love how this one turned out. I hope you'll come back to my channel and watch some of my other videos. I have a lot of different techniques, especially ocean-inspired stuff. So come check out some of those and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. I'll see you for the next one. Bye!